evening, everyone. Boy, it's great to see you all. You know, somebody reminded me yesterday that this is the first fundraising event that we've had in 2 years. Hold that applause, because it was January of 2020 was our last big event. And you know what it was, don't you? It was the Gala. Welcome back. My name's John Henry. I'm the director here, and it's a pleasure to welcome all of you here tonight. And I have some announcements to make and some introductions to make. But before I do, the mayor has asked me to convey a message to you, but I'd rather you hear it from him, a special event that's coming up. So he just happens to be here.
Thank you, John. It is so wonderful to see all of you here tonight, and good evening to you. It's another great day that God has brought us together in peace, and I'm just so happy to be and excited to be here. But we talk about the Sons exhibit of the modern African-American male, especially in this community. We have so much to be thankful for. As African-American men, we know the challenges that we have facing the dominant tendency of American society that usually pushes us back. But I have a wonderful announcement for something that's happening this Monday at City Hall at 2 p.m. Before we got to this point here in 2022, there was a famous man named Floyd J. McCree, the first African-American male of a major metropolitan city. That city was Flint, Michigan. The year was 1966. Give it a round of applause for Floyd J. McCree. Without his vision, it wasn't possible for us to be here at this moment. All the successes that we've had, the trials that we had, and the things that we overcame. So it was incumbent upon me, understanding that and the role that he played for American society and especially this community, that we made history to tribute. We're unveiling the statue of Floyd J. McCree in front of City Hall at 2 p.m. this Monday. This is the first image of an African-American male here in the city of Flint. We know that young people cannot become what they cannot see. It is important for us to celebrate each other here today, but it's also important for us to plant the seed. It's about vision, not vengeance in this community. So I want to salute Floyd J. McCree. I want to invite all of you out to City Hall Monday at 2 p.m. For this magnificent event. I thank the McCree family. I want to thank the Community Foundation and others who helped us make this happen. This was done without tax dollars. All contributions were made to the sum of $100,000 to make this happen. So see you guys Monday. God bless.
Thank you, Mayor. So, this evening, we're going to have a conversation between the artist, Jerry Taliaferro, and our curator, Tracee Glabb, about the exhibition, Sons, Seeing the African-American Male. And you're going to hear a little bit about his experiences as an artist and the experiences of putting this exhibition together, and I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. But before I invite Jerry and Tracee up to speak, I'd like to thank our Community Gala signature sponsor, Communities First, for their outstanding support of the Community Gala, and of course, a big thank you to all of you. But first, Communities First. Will you put, Glenn, are you here? Glenn and Essence, are you here? We stand, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. I also want to thank all of you and all of the Gala sponsors. Without them, this evening wouldn't even be possible. So can I have the Gala sponsors please stand? Gala committee, rather, sorry. Gala committee. Thank you. Committee first, and now the sponsors. All the sponsors. Half the room. Thank you so much. I also want to thank the support for the exhibition that we received from Community Foundations of Greater Flint, McCombs Family Fund, advised by Rick McCombs. I want to thank the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation for their continued support, which enables events like this evening and the exhibition that's across the hall, like the one we have tonight. And I also want to thank Huntington Bank for their contributions to make Huntington Free Saturdays, which is free admission to... It provides free admission to all on Saturdays, and I'm talking about out-county people, those people that were successfully bringing in from far away to see what we've got here. And thanks to all of you, citizens of Genesee County, for the Genesee County Arts Education and Cultural Enrichment Millage. Which provides free admission to all citizens of Genesee County. It's my pleasure to announce that funds raised from last year's virtual community gala have been used to purchase a drawing by Ed Watkins that is currently on view Ed currently has an exhibition on view in our graphics gallery, which is open tonight, so you might have time to go down and take that in. Also, we truly appreciate your support in helping the FIA to achieve our goals to add works by African American artists to the permanent collection. The Gala's committee has devoted themselves to that, and it's really a terrific thing that you're doing. Thank you. Now, I'd like to ask board members and the Gala Committee co-chair Teresa Stevens-Locke and Gala Committee co-chair Omar Sims to please come up to the podium. And while they do, join me in turning off these noisemakers, please. And I'll be back in a minute.
Wow, co-chair. This is amazing.
Wait, where are we?
We're at the FIA,
In what city?
Flint, Michigan.
How you spell Flint?
F-L-I-N-T.
The greatest what?
City.
So, look at them. Give yourself a round of applause. Flint, Genesee County. And they look good out here.
Yeah, they do. Well, thank you, John, for giving us the opportunity. Greetings to all of you. On behalf of the baddest committee in Genesee County, the Community Gala Committee, this committee worked hard. I want them to stand one more time. Woo! Where you at? Come on. Glenn, you didn't stand one more time.
They ain't gonna stand up later on. I got something for him.
Okay. We would like to thank you and welcome you to be here and experience this evening's discussion with the artist, Mr. Jerry Taliaferro, and to see the exhibit, Sons, Seeing the African American Male. Yes, community, there are so many phenomenal men, sons in our community. The 49 honorees in this exhibit represent all of you very, very well. Please take time when you go through the exhibit to look, to read, and to listen to their amazing journeys. I also want to share a little bit about how you can become a member of the greatest museum in Michigan. The Flint Institute of Arts is our museum. Inside, there are so many amazing exhibits, programming all year round, and it has an outstanding art school. Did you know that? That there's an art school right in this building. The museum is our gym right here. We would like to encourage you to become a member. It's very easy, very affordable. It's $30. $30. It includes admission any day, discounts in the museum shop, great place to buy gifts, and you're going to hear about that a little later too, and that art school, invitations to lectures and special events, and so many more benefits. Please look for membership brochures when you go inside the Isabel room to dine. Partner?
You know what? I guess it's my turn, right? You know, what can I say? I do want to say thank you to our phenomenal committee. Stand up again and give them applause. Because, wait, there's a method to my madness. Stand up, committee. Now, they had to put up with me. She was the calming voice. And then, where's my FIA staff? The FIA staff. Stand up, FIA staff. And our volunteers. See, you know, you're looking at now, but they went to work. So we want to say thank you. And the other thing, I don't mind asking. So I'm up here right now. Give me something. You know, we had some generous partners. Communities First stepped up. Thank you, Communities First. Give it up for them. And I want you to take the time, look at this list right here. What's missing? You. So I need you, we need you to help us out. Now, not gonna model it. Can somebody read that shirt for me? Dave Gibson, read that shirt for me.
Who do you see when you look at me?
Who do you see when you look at me?
I am.
And that's what we're about. We're Flint. We're Flint, Flint strong, FIA strong.
In the museum store.
Because of this exhibit, we received international recognition. So we could change the narrative. Give to where? Say it again. Don't be bashful. I got a couple of pastors in here. You know, pastors, y'all know how to take up a collection, right? So I'm not going to take up a collection because I know some folks are running for office, so they're running asking for money. But at the end, make sure you purchase one of these.
In the museum store.
Where?
In the museum store.
And make sure they get what? Now, y'all probably say, why are you taking that time? Because it takes time to write thousands. Am I right, Aunt Kathy and Dr. Rogers? I mean, they're the ones who laid the foundation. By the way, thank you for exceeding our goal. But in all honesty, we want to say thank you. Get ready to enjoy this interactive discussion, and you're in for a treat.
I got one more.
You got one more thing?
got one
Did I
more
do all right?
I
Did you guys control me right? My wife?
No, your wife. No, your wife.
She's
did
looking
that.
at me. She's like, well, bless her
I
heart.
just have to tell, one of the sons shared with me an important thing that occurred with him this week. Now he's looking like, oh, you gonna tell it? You shouldn't have told me.
Tell it, 'cause they didn't tell me. Tell it.
One of the sons got married this week with Mr. and Mrs. Brian Nolan. Please stand.
Oh! See, that explains his glow, but he can still give money too. All right, thank you.
It just took enthusiasm to a completely new level. Thanks, Teresa, and thanks, Omar. That was great.
Thank you, Teresa.
Jerry Taliaferro is a skilled and seasoned photographer with a unique vision and a distinct style. His photography has been greatly influenced by his life experiences, his training as an engineer and an infantry officer, are readily obvious in his attention to detail in his meticulously crafted photographs. He believes that great images are built, not merely taken by a camera. After an illustrious career as a commercial photographer, his interest turned to more fine art photography. This change in direction has resulted in several projects and published pieces. His exhibitions, Women of a New Tribe, The Test, the Tuskegee Airmen Project, Sons, Seeing the Modern African American Male, and Black Women as Muse deal with African American history and issues and have been traveling internationally since 2002. Let's give a warm welcome to our guest, Jerry Taliaferro. And our Curator of Exhibitions and Collections, Tracee Glabb.
Good evening, everyone. Can y'all hear me? All right, and can I just say you all look gorgeous tonight. So, as many of you know, Jerry is no stranger to Flint. We featured his photographs 5 years ago. I guess I should get this ready. Here we go. All right. 5 years ago, in 2017, for the exhibition Women of a New Tribe, which was a very popular and well-loved exhibition, where he was also the guest at the community gala. There you see he's toward the end there. And a few years later, in 2020, we installed all of the 49 photographs of the women in our lobby as part of our community exhibition. That same year, in 2020, we approached Jerry to see if he would be willing to come back to Flint, but this time the exhibition would be focused on African American men in our community. So first of all, Jerry, I'm glad you said yes, and welcome back to Flint. What was it like to return here?
Well, I'm glad to be home. Have to say, Flint is not a hard choice. The staff here and the people are incredible, inspiring. You know that you're going to get a good project at the end of the work. So again, I'm glad to be home. I have a family here. I call them the Lost Tribe. I really didn't meet them until I came up for Women of a New Tribe, but I'm glad to come back anytime. Thank you.
Yes, and we're very glad too. So before we get into how the exhibition came together, 'cause I'd like to give you the background on that, I think it would be good to pause for a moment and talk about how some of the main differences between Women of a New Tribe and this exhibition, Sons, Seeing the Modern African American Male. Other than the obvious difference that it's men, right, not women. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is it's in two sections. And the first section is, who do you see when you look at me? Can you tell us a little bit more about the meaning of this first section? Why is this important?
Okay, well, of course, shooting women is a lot more fun than shooting guys. This is a little heavier exhibition. The purpose of this exhibition is to give you pause, to make you think. It's divided into two sections. And the first section you enter into is nothing but faces. It'll be a similar experience if you were in a parking lot late at night and you turned around and you saw this face, this African American male face, and you didn't know who this person was. What would be your reaction? What would be your instinct? Of course, I think it's inside of us all. It's a primal reaction. It's not a racial reaction. It's just that thing that all humans, all animals have about flight or flight. Immediately you go into who is this person and what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 seconds. And we wanted to mimic that effect by having somebody enter into a dark room and all you see is a face. And you don't know this face. Well, a lot of these people you know, but you know, if you were in a situation you didn't understand who this person was or what their purpose was, you know, what would be the effect on you. We try to mimic that. And then you move into the second part of the exhibition, where there's a lot of information about the person. The person actually speaks. When we photograph the person, we ask him to project himself as he believed himself to be. So you go from a situation of knowing knowing a lot about a person to knowing, you go from a situation of knowing absolutely nothing about a person until a situation where you know a lot. And you should see your reaction. You should feel a reaction. And we're trying to say in a dramatic way is, try to get to know the person. Try to understand that it's natural to have a reaction to a person you don't know. That's a natural reaction. But what happens when you know more about this person? So that's basically the exhibition in a nutshell.
What inspired you to embark on this project?
Well, it's the time we live in. Women of a New Tribe was a fun, women are more fun.
That's true.
They're more colorful. Their hair, everything is going to be different about a woman when you photograph. They bring a lot to the project. The thing about Sons is it's got a deeper purpose. It's more than how a person look. I like to say the exhibition is as much about the person going into the exhibition as the people on the wall. You're going to experience something. You're going to bring something to this exhibition. Your experiences, how you react. So it's an exhibition that took a while to figure out, and we're still figuring out, how it can be more effective. And let me say this. The staff here, you guys knocked it out of the ballpark. It's perfect the way you come in. It's better than I expected it to be. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So another difference from the Women of a New Tribe exhibition is the videos that you made with each participant, which is accessible by QR code when you're in the exhibit, but it's also something you can look at on our website. And I'm going to play one of these videos. This is a video with Trevor Norman. And then I'm going to have some questions after for you.
Hey, my name is Trevor Norman, and I am a photographer, barber, work for the airlines, and someone who likes to hang out. A time I was reminded that I was a black man in America was when I moved to the west side of the state, and being on the west side of the state, in the city that I was in, weren't too many that looked like me, and it kind of hit home a lot because you can only relate to people so much, until you need to relate to them in the ways that you need to relate to them. And not being able to relate to people in the way that I needed to relate to them definitely reminded me that I was a black man in America. To cope with something like that, I really fell back on social media, contacting friends back home, during different things, and even going out of my way to look for people who looked like me in the areas that I was in, so that, I could talk to them and relate to them in ways that just other non-people of color couldn't.
So Jerry, tell us about what the question, because we're hearing the answers, but what were the questions that were asked during the video shoot? Would the men all ask the same questions, or?
Well, most of the men were asked the same questions, and every exhibition is a little different, and we learn something from every installation. We understood that there are experiences that are common to most African American males. Regardless of where you grow up, you're going to have that instance in your life where somebody reminds you that you're black. That's just life in America. And what I was interested in showing that this experience is common. It's my son dealt with it. I dealt with it. I'm sure my grandfather dealt with it in some way, probably more so than I did. And it's just to kind of awaken us, just to let you know we deal with it so much and so often that we just blow it off a lot of the times. But I think it's important that we know that this is a reality, and I think it's important for everybody to know that, you may say something and it may seem like a joke to you, but to somebody else it may cut pretty deep. So, without rambling and going on, it's just, it's just a reminder, a simple reminder that America is not the same for everybody. It's, it's accident of birth or circumstances, but, we need to be aware, and it's not just, it's not just a white-black thing, it's, a human thing, that everybody's situation is different, Everybody has a different filter, and what you do to one person may mean one thing, but what you do to another person may have a totally different meaning. Simple.
Well said, thank you. And for me, just a personal note, I think the videos were the most moving part of the exhibition for me. And I'm thankful that you included that part of the.
Well, I think it's, it adds another dimension to the photograph. It gives the photograph a voice, a lot of times people don't have opportunity to talk about that, but it's, a new dimension. And it's technology too. I had to figure out what QR codes were.
So did we.
And it's rough not having a teenager in the house to teach you all this stuff.
So similar to Women of a New Tribe, we began planning Sons a couple of years ago, and I want to give a quick thank you to my colleagues, Assistant Curator Rachel Holsteg and Associate Curator Sarah Cohn, who worked closely with Jerry on this exhibition, including coordinating all aspects of the process. So thank you to them. Like Women of a New Tribe, we wanted to use local subjects nominated by you, our community, and it was decided to use the same nomination process to solicit names from the community. The nomination process in Flint was announced at last year's virtual gala, which opened up a nomination period with the following criteria: that the men, 1, have a positive impact on individuals, 2, help those around them in the neighborhood, and 3, create positive change or further important issues in the community. And we received over 120 nominations. Oh, something's not, there it goes. But could only select 50. So I want you to let that sink in, and I'll say it again. 120 nominations came in, and we could only select 50. And we had to do that by random drawing from not from a hat, but from a box, literally. That was done by the past and current co-chairs of the Community Gala Committee. We selected 50, and they were notified, and eventually 49 men. It is a coincidence. There was also 49 women because one person dropped out at the last minute. So we had 49 women, 49 men, and there are all the names on the screen. And if you are here, men, I know everybody's tired of standing, but I really feel like this is the moment. If you're here, please stand. Thank you so much. So Jerry, you were here back in last August. Feels like ages ago, but it wasn't that too long ago, for a photo shoot of, get this, 8 days and 100 hours, 12 and a half hours a day, and 7 appointments per day. So this is a photo from the photo shoot of him with Omar Batson. And so, Jerry, tell us what it was like working with the men, and you can tell me the secret if it was who was easier to work with, the women or the men.
It was a rowdy bunch. We lost control early. And, but seriously, I was inspired. It's particularly by the younger guys, and also I had to recognize that I'm not a younger guy anymore. I'm one of the older guys. But when you talk to a young guy and he's full of energy and full of vision about what he's going to do in the world, you can't help but be energized yourself. And I think that was the best part of it. You talk to the older guys, and like I said, come to grip, I'm one of them. But they had laid the groundwork for the younger guys, especially here in Flint. You talk to a lot of, you talk to a lot of the the older guys who were the first, guy in a plant here, or the first guy to be, I forgot what he did at GM, but he was one of the first guys, and he basically integrated that section, and he went in and he endured, and he probably heard things that, the younger guys, thank God, may not hear or may not hear as often. So, it was a fair amount of pride to be a part of that generation, that had, integrated schools and, were the first police officer or the, first this and first that. We can't believe the amount of courage that it takes somebody to do that, it was inspiring, and I hope this show and the video is inspiring to people. Not just for the black guys. There was one particular story that really touched me about a guy. I can't remember his name. I can't remember the guy that did it. This guy was the first, iron fitter or worker, and one white guy walked up to him and said, "If you want to learn this job, I will teach you this job." And it reminded me of guys that I'd met. I was a soldier. I was in special forces, and I remember certain guys that walked up to me, at a particular time in the 80s when there weren't a lot of black officers in special forces. And they put their arms around me and they said, "You're my team leader. You're going to be successful." So it's not just a story of black males, but it's the people that kind of walked up and put their arms around them and said, "I'm going to help you through this." I hope it's a tribute to them.
So going back to some of the technical aspects here, so here you are with Omar, and you're showing him a preview of his photo. Most people may not be aware that you actively involve your sitters or the subjects with what you're doing. So tell us why what drives you to do that?
Basic laziness. If you get the subject involved, most of the work of getting a good picture is getting a person to relax. So you try to get them involved in the process. You let them see your pictures as you take them. You time in. You make them work. And so, why should I do all the work?
He's being very modest because he does a lot of work, and this is just a shot of you on the computer because you do a lot of post-production work. You take hundreds of photographs, and then you take it all home with you on a hard drive and do lots of work. So what's involved with your post-production work? I mean, and especially on this exhibit, which you had to do.
Okay.
2 different photographs and a video.
Yeah. It, like I said, the Women of a New Tribe is, it's all about beauty, inner and outer beauty, and stuff like that. Guys, they're, they just don't have it, and, so you have to pull it out of them. You know what I mean? We were lucky on some occasions that the wives came with the husbands, and were able to.
Yay, wives.
And we're able to, to bully them into taking a good picture. Some guys came by themselves, and what can I say? The post-production, we're trying to tell a story here. You don't want all the stories to be the same. You don't want all the pictures to be the same. So that was, that's basically, the hard part of it. Women of a New Tribe, every woman was just like a new experience, a new photographic possibility. It wasn't gray suits and blue suits. It was,
Didn't you have to tell some people to go home and get some other clothes?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Guys
Everyone
just
came with suits.
Yeah, guys just don't take good pictures. I'm sorry, but we made do, and but.
Well, I think the photographs came out amazing, and you also, it was actually a participant suggestion to that the men could choose their I am photos. So Jerry narrowed down 4 or 5 options for the men, and they came into the museum and signed, that's their initials on the bottom, of the one that they wanted produced in the exhibition. So they did get a chance to pick their final photograph, which I thought was great. And also unusual for our evening tonight is that you all have already seen the exhibition. It's been open for a few months now. It actually opened to participants on Friday, January 21st. So I'm gonna start clicking through this because there's several photos from that night. But Jerry, I want to get your thoughts as we're looking at these images. Just the kind of reactions you've received maybe tonight, or people that have reached out to you. I'm just going to start clicking of different photos of that night, which I think was very cool. And if you want to say anything as I'm going through them, feel free.
Well, on that night, they zoomed me in, and was able to talk to some of the guys during the exhibition, and I felt appreciated. And thank you again. Thank you.
Maybe you go too fast there. There's Jerry being zoomed in. So also, I'd like to share this next video with you. It was produced by Matt Franklin for ABC 12, and it's a 5-minute video, but I think it's really kind of sums up a lot of what Jerry's been talking about in just a beautiful way, so I'd like to share it with you. And then I'll get your thoughts on the other side.
As we celebrate Black History Month, a nationally known photographer is aiming to break stereotypes and force others to confront their biases on Black men in America by using the power of the lens.
He captured the images of men from the Flint community and posed the question, who do you see when you look at me? I sat down with 2 of the men from the exhibit about the changing perceptions of African American men in society.
So proud. I've always been proud to be a Black man.
Just stare into the eyes of this picture, hanging on the wall in the Flint Institute Library. It's an emotional experience for 87-year-old John Henry Maxwell.
This kind of honor and respect I never expected to receive. Because it's more like a gift to me at my age now to be recognized Number one is being a man, and number two is being a black man that has accomplished something in his life.
A moment Maxwell never dreamed would happen. That's because the U of M grad and Air Force veteran lived through time periods where black people, especially men, would not have had this opportunity.
Black men are ignored so much in this society and in this world. No matter what they do, they've never done enough, and they're never completely recognized or given credit for what they do.
As communities, as a country, we need to talk about race. You know, recent events in our history show us that we still have some work to do. And so I think Sons was meant to be a catalyst for conversation.
Hoping to put a spotlight on their accomplishments, talents, and change the narrative, North Carolina photographer Jerry Taliaferro created the Sons, Seeing the Modern African American Male exhibition, which displays the pictures and stories of 49 men from across Genesee County, including Maxwell, who is the oldest featured in the exhibit. All the men come from different backgrounds. They are ministers, musicians, business leaders, politicians, just to name a few.
Presentation is the power of this exhibition. You know, the point of this exhibition is to make you think.
The exhibit is divided into two sections. The first, a dark setting, with just the faces of the men, in black and white, posing the question, who do you see when you look at me?
You notice that the walls are black, that the images have no caption, no information. All you see is a face hanging in space.
Talafero designed this part of the exhibit for people to pause and explore their perceptions about black men.
You saw a face that didn't, you didn't know the background of the person. What would you think? And that was the point of that question. Who do you see when you look? And then you have to reconcile it on the other side.
The second part of the exhibit, vibrant color photos of the men, where Talafero captures them in their natural element. It's here where visitors learn more about the men, their backgrounds, their struggles, and their hopes for the future.
What I want other people to take from that is black men aren't always what they aggressive. We're kind-hearted individuals. We are compassionate individuals. And when they get to this side of the exhibit, I want that our pictures to reflect that.
18-year-old DeAndre Chilton Jr. is the youngest man featured in the exhibit. The Great Lake High School senior is dual enrolled at U of M Flint, a National Honor Society member with a GPA over 4.0, heavily involved in his community.
Our teacher on this says hustle hard, and those two words to me really just means set a goal, stick to it, and work a plan towards it.
For him, there's no greater honor than to share this gallery with other men who have come before him to help pave the way for his future.
I've learned that we really have to learn from our history and really not take for granted what our predecessors have done to get us where we are today.
Those like John Henry Maxwell.
I feel so proud of being a part of this, because all of these black men have a background. They've done something with their lives. I needed this at my age. I needed this. This kind of puts an explanation of what I have lived for.
Is open now through April 16th at the Flint Institute of Arts, and this is not the first exhibit in Flint by photographer Jerry Taliaferro.
5 years ago, his first exhibit at the FIA was titled Women of a New Tribe. Again, 49 women from the Flint area were selected by the community. They were from various backgrounds and highlighted in the exhibit for their contributions to the community.
Jerry, before I jump to this slide, any reaction to that video? Any surprises? Any?
We get a similar reaction at other exhibitions, but I'm a little choked up because once again Flint has knocked it out of the ballpark.
don't get choked up, because I'll start crying.
Okay. Well, no worries.
Another way that we've engaged with the public and the men in the exhibition was by hosting a panel discussion again on March 5th with 4 participants: Bob Campbell, DeAndre Chilton, Bryant Nolden, and Glenn Wilson, moderated by ABC 12's Matt Franklin. And I have one more thing here. So at the panel, and if anyone missed it, it is recorded and available on our website. So it was quite a powerful experience to be in the audience, but I highly encourage you to check it out. But they were asked by Matt, what is your wish for people to take away from this exhibition? And here's quotes from all 4 men on the screen. So Jerry, I wanted to ask you, what do you want? And I know you've said this a little bit throughout our talk tonight, but what is your wish for people to take away?
I guess, if you gave yourself a second when you met a person, when you meet a person, and, just say, I need to know more about this person before I form an opinion. Yeah, just a second.
Wonderful. So we're going to wrap it up with the other topics that you're exploring. So I've got some images on the screen about your current project that you're working on. Tell us about that, and I'll flip through some images.
Back to fun. Okay. Yeah. This kind of fell in my lap. We're in Charlotte. They just developed a new visual art and performing arts center, and so you're mixed in with a lot of artists. And I'm mixed in with a dance group. They performed at the opening and a couple of things, and they kind of approached me about the project. And so it's not totally my idea, but we're looking at kind of a thing about dance. And funny enough, tonight I met a couple of guys in the audience who are connected with the Flint dance scene. And hopefully, we can do something with that. But it's just kind of exploring African-American dance in its various forms, from ballet to jazz to hip-hop and stuff like that. So that's where my interest is now. And also we're consolidating all the images from Women of a New Tribe, because that exhibit's been traveling almost 20 years. And so there's an incredible collection of images of black women. And so the other project is Black Woman as Muse. And it's kind of looking at the images from Women of a New Tribe, including images we've done here in Flint, that are the most striking images from the collection. So we're trying to gather that into a show. And again, I'm happy to say that, a number of the Flint women are in that collection, because...
That's awesome.
Yeah, so... and I'll be scared not to say that, too. But that's what we're working on.
So we have a wonderful reception prepared for you out there. I want to tell you that tomorrow, before I go to tomorrow, Jerry is going to be signing books in the lobby. So please, if you haven't bought a book yet, buy one, and he'll sign it for you. And of course, it'd be cool to have the men sign their photos too while they're here. And then tomorrow at 2 p.m., we're going to have a Meet the Artist event in the gallery, which is open to the public. And Jerry will be there to answer questions or just talk or whatever. So please come by tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you get a chance. Thank you, everyone. You've been a great audience, and really looking forward to the reception and seeing all your faces. Thank you, Jerry.